What you want me to do?
You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. That's what I'm saying. You can't do nothing, big man.
I knew a few places you was at. I could have pulled up, but I don't think that was gangster. I wanted to come look you in your face like a man and tell you how I feel.
Okay.
Where the breakfast at? Where the breakfast? Where the breakfast at?
Breakfast?
Like for real, bro, y'all tripping.
From the time Birdman pulled up to the Breakfast Club just to cuss Charlamagne out before leaving, to the time NBA YoungBoy threatened to hit Charlamagne with a strap, these are times rappers check Charlamagne Tha God for being disrespectful. Started things off with Beanie Sigel, because when he was on the Breakfast Club back in 2016, it didn't take 30 seconds from the start of the episode for things to get awkward between him and Charlamagne. Charlamagne Tha God set the stage for a heated interview by calling Sigel a hater for putting out a Meek Mill diss track, just a week after Meek and Sigel were seen in the booth together. Sigel, on the other hand, felt Charlamagne didn't have the right to speak on the matter without first knowing the facts.
Sounding like a hater lately, man.
A hater?
Yeah.
How you say that? A hater?
Cause I feel like, you know, you put out 2 diss records, but then you was in the studio with Meek like 8 days prior to the first diss record, and I'm like, if anybody else did that, I think you'd be saying that was a sucker move. That's kind of snakish.
I don't think you qualified to even say I sound like a hater because you don't know all the particulars. So how you qualified to say I'm a hater? Hate on what?
Well,
and why?
Sigel goes into a bit more detail about what actually transpired between him and Meek Mill, but he also wasn't trying to say too much on it. As a result, Charlamagne pressed Sigel again, saying Sigel is only loyal to someone when he has something to gain, since Meek had just recently featured Sigel on a song, but Sigel didn't appreciate being called a backstabber.
I know you say I'm not qualified to speak on it.
You're not.
I'm just observing it, but it just seemed like, you know, loyalty with you lies with who's providing you opportunity at the time.
Man, get the f out of here, Charlamagne, man. Provide me what loyalty with who? He ain't provide me no opportunity. He ain't called me and asked me to do that. I did that. I walked into Meek wasn't even there. It was just O'Malley in the studio.
Oh, so O'Malley called you to the studio?
No.
Meek called you to the studio?
No.
Sigel explains that he wasn't even trying to get on the song with Meek, saying he just happened to come to the studio while they were recording it. But 25 minutes into the interview, Charlamagne circles back, accusing Sigel of faking being cool with Meek, despite not liking him. In response, Sigel tries to help Charlamagne understand the situation with Meek better, but things quickly start getting heated.
I know I keep going back to this, but it's true. You was in the studio with Meek 8 days prior.
Did we or did not just answer that?
But you knew he wasn't. You said he wasn't. You didn't think he was real when you was in the studio with him.
All right, put it like this: is Kanye a street?
Absolutely not.
Huh?
Absolutely
but when
not.
Kanye put that phone call in, you know the stories. Who was there? He put the call in. I was there, strapped tooth to nail, ready to bust ass about the, cause he a part of our family. You understand what I'm saying?
Now, for people that don't know,
you don't. How you don't understand? Because you know why? Because you not from that cloth.
Mom, that's cool. I don't get it.
You not. That's why you don't understand that.
For the last 10 minutes of the interview, it became obvious Charlamagne was trying to get under Sigel's skin by saying stuff to portray him in a negative light.
You remember, because when I hear you talk about the kids' clothes, you remember you did the State Property clothing line. I remember an interview you did where you said they got the little compartments to hide your guns and hide your dope. Like it could have that looks crazy. And when you think about it,
Charlamagne, shut up.
Charlamagne then decides to bring up the beef with Meek Mill one more time, but that was the last straw for Sigel because he completely shut Charlamagne down, telling Charlamagne not to play with him since he's really about that life.
If you see like Meek calls you and be like, "Yo, Mac, what's up? Let's squash this."
Put the phone call in. Let's sit down and talk about it.
In your mind, you still think he's not real. He's a sucker.
Why you keep harping on that? We answered that. We talked about that.
You like
so don't talk out your neck because you want what you want. If you saying you want unity, stop keep doing that, man. Don't stop playing with me, man. Stop running your fucking mouth. You shouldn't. It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
No doubt.
You talking about somebody who went to war with police. It's dangerous. Attempted murders in the height of my career. It's dangerous. You don't know nothing about that, man.
No.
You sit up here and your job is to play games. But play with something safe, man. Don't play with me.
The thing Sigel earlier said about Charlamagne picking on female rappers seems to check out, because in another interview with Master P, Charlamagne got checked again for disrespecting a female rapper. In a 2015 Breakfast Club interview with rapper and record producer Master P, things were going well until Charlamagne asked a question about Master P's record label, No Limit Records. Charlamagne wanted to know how the label was promoting their projects, but in the process made some out-of-pocket comments about Mercedes, one of Master P's signed artists.
There was a time where No Limit was dropping every week. It was a No Limit product in stores every week. Except for Mercedes. We never saw that, and I always wanted to see that because she had a fat ass.
Yeah, see that, bro. Hold up, man. Don't talk about Mercedes.
Oh,
like
my bad. I ain't know she family.
Yeah, so disrespectful.
Nah, she ain't family, but still, though, with all my people, man, you know how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we good, man. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? You know how we get out.
Charlamagne quickly tried to change the subject to make things less awkward, but Master P wasn't going to let him off that easy, checking Charlamagne and letting him know not to disrespect women like that.
But how was you setting it up, though, promotion-wise?
What you mean setting?
Because it was dropping. They were dropping every week. So how was people able to know? Okay, unless you was going to the record store.
Let's go back to this, dog. Let's respect, because I'm not gonna talk about your sister, your mama.
Got you.
You know, we need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thing. Because I know you do your radio thing, and I respect that. But at the same time, Mercedes is she a female.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, you're right. But she did look good on that cover, though.
Yeah, she looked good. That's your opinion.
But that wasn't the only time Charlamagne Tha God got checked for playing with the rapper's name, because in 2016, Birdman stormed the Breakfast Club studio with his crew just to cuss Charlamagne out before leaving immediately after. The year before the incident, Lil Wayne had a major fallout with Birdman's record label, Cash Money Records, since Wayne felt the label was holding him and his music prisoner. But when Charlamagne was asked by DJ Vlad what he thought about the situation, he went on to troll Birdman for doing Wayne like that after kissing Weezy on the mouth, and also said Birdman's record label would be nothing without Lil Wayne.
What do you think about Lil Wayne's riff for the Cash Money?
Oh man, I mean that's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt because Lil Wayne has been with Baby forever. Listen, they kissed in the mouth. That's a different kind of contract. Like you can't shit on the person that you've kissed in the mouth publicly. Y'all got tattoos of each other, yo. Like, this is different. Right. This is like a bad breakup. Listen, I just don't understand, why would you want to sign to Birdman after seeing how he did his son, the man he kissed in the mouth, the man who made Cash Money what it is. First, let's be clear, Cash Money would be dead if it wasn't for Lil Wayne.
Later that year, Rick Ross was also asked about the Cash Money Lil Wayne situation on The Breakfast Club, and he let it be known that he doesn't have a relationship with Birdman and doesn't respect what Birdman's putting Lil Wayne through.
What's your relationship with Birdman?
I don't have one with Birdman, you know what I'm saying? If you read the Source magazine, you will see that, you know, right now, and really me just seeing what Wayne going through as an artist, him being a boss, you know, me idolizing Birdman at the time, me looking up to Lil Wayne, Wayne being the first artist to make so many feats, not just as an artist, but an artist coming from the South. That's something that I took personal. So for me to see the way things are transpiring, I can't respect that, and I don't respect that.
It looked like the Breakfast Club crew were intentionally trying to get Birdman's attention, because Charlamagne also got Trick Daddy to speak on Birdman, and Trick Daddy had some concerning things to say, suggesting that Birdman might be gay.
So you don't like Birdman? Y'all got a little issue?
No, I don't. I've done business with Birdman. Some are good and some is bad. I just think when you're trying to be a CEO and you're trying to be a rapper and you're trying to be a ladies' man and you're trying to be a girlfriend and you trying to be
a girlfriend,
a Crip and a Blood.
You trying to be a girlfriend?
Why you call him a girlfriend?
I don't know. That's what they said.
Oh, you mean like
I'm like DJ Khaled. I got it from the streets.
After months of bringing his name up on their show, The Breakfast Club finally invited Birdman himself, but Baby honored the invitation for one reason, and one reason only, to come and check the whole Breakfast Club crew.
Y'all ready? Yes, sir. I want to start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there, let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
Let's do it on camera.
Stop playing with my name.
Let's
I ain't
go
gonna
right
say
on
it no
in.
more. So when my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
When the show went on air a few seconds later, Charlamagne, who was probably feeling the awkwardness, let Birdman know that he could get everything off his chest. So Birdman went off on Charlamagne, whom he seemed to particularly have an issue with.
We got a special guest in the building.
He done cursed us out. Tell him, get it off your chest, Birdman.
I wanted to talk to you on your man in your face.
Absolutely.
You understand me? I knew a few places you was at. I could have pulled up, but I don't think that was gangster. I wanted to come look you in your face like a man and tell you how I feel.
Okay.
You understand me? Straight up like a man.
So what's the issue?
No sugar. Ain't no issue. If it was an issue, you'll feel me. I just come to let y'all know, stop, put some respect on my name.
Charlamagne talks back to Birdman since he felt Baby should have gone after Rick Ross and Trick Daddy, not a mere radio show host. But Birdman wasn't even trying to hear that and immediately left without doing the interview.
You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
Did you pull up on Ross that way or Trick Daddy?
I'm pulling up on you, nigga.
Yeah, but I'm the radio guy. Why pull up on the radio guy? Don't act tough with the radio guy.
I hate my nigga. Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking. Let's rock.
All right.
Years later, though, Charlamagne reportedly got on a call with Birdman, and they squashed the beef. But another short-lived crazy moment on the show was when Fatboy SSE pulled up to the Breakfast Club studio and started wrecking stuff and going off on Charlamagne. Because New Jersey rapper Fatboy SSE did an interview with the Breakfast Club in August 2017. But shortly after his interview that day, he came back to the studio and started wrecking the place. His issue was that they had no actual breakfast on the show, and for some reason, he seemed to direct his anger mostly at Charlamagne.
What up, y'all? It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne Tha God.
Hey, watch out, bro. What's up?
What's up with you, bro?
What are you doing?
Where the breakfast at? Are y'all trying to play me? Y'all ain't let my people up neither, bro. Where the breakfast at? Where the breakfast? Where the breakfast at?
Breakfast? You don't need a diet. You don't need no breakfast.
Where the breakfast at?
You don't need breakfast.
Hey, you can blow my can again?
I bet you if it was a birthday cake, you'd have blew it out faster.
It may have looked like a skit, but the Breakfast Club crew reportedly had no idea Fatboy SSE was going to crash their show. Speaking of viral moments on the show, we gotta talk about Soulja Boy, because not only did things get heated between him and Charlamagne Tha God, but Soulja's Breakfast Club interview also became one of their most viewed episodes ever. What started their beef was an interview with the Migos back in 2021. During the interview, the Migos and the Breakfast Club crew were talking about the greatest rappers from Atlanta. When DJ Envy mentioned Soulja, Charlamagne claimed Soulja wasn't even from Atlanta.
Now let's talk about this Mount Rushmore of Atlanta, because I saw y'all talking about that. Is that an all-time list y'all feel like y'all should be on, or just
all
the past
time,
decade?
Not shout out to the city, but all time though.
So you ain't gonna put Soulja Boy on there then?
No, man, Soulja not even from Atlanta.
I'm just messing.
Don't start that shit.
Soulja Boy started it all. Don't mess with Soulja Boy.
It may have seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal, but after Soulja Boy saw the interview, he crashed out on IG Live, calling out Charlamagne. Because even if Soulja was born in Chicago, he grew up in Atlanta and is known to rep the city.
Stop playing with me, Charlamagne Tha God, Breakfast Club. What the fuck did you talk about? I'm not from Atlanta. Where the fuck I'm from, nigga? You not from motherfucker, wherever the fuck you said you from, nigga. Don't speak on where the fuck, bitch ass nigga, you don't know shit, nigga. Hey, stop speaking on my name, bitch. Fuck you talking about, nigga. It's gonna be this every time. You wanna see me show out? That's what the fuck you gonna get, cause ain't no nigga finna sit here telling me where I'm from, nigga.
And that wasn't the only time Big Draco had an issue with Charlamagne. They also got into an argument when Soulja was on the Breakfast Club 3 years earlier. Because while a lot of people believed Tyga had the biggest comeback of 2018, Soulja Boy believed he had the biggest comeback since he signed a record deal and did 4 new TV shows. But during the interview, Charlamagne let Soulja know that being a musical artist, a comeback needs to involve Soulja actually releasing a hit song, which he didn't do.
Y'all ignored me, bro. Y'all laughed at me, bro, and shitted on me, bro, like I was nothing. And now I'm back with a vengeance, bro.
I agree with that. You just didn't have the biggest comeback of 2018. In order to have the biggest comeback, you got to come back with a massive hit. Because you're a musical artist.
Yo, Charlamagne, Tyga had a record. This nigga right here talk about Tyga. The nigga that lost his bitch to Travis Scott.
Oh, shit. Holy shit.
The nigga that Travis Scott nutted in the bitch and got her pregnant. Damn.
Holy shit, Big Draco.
That...
Charlamagne did have a point, but he decided to take things further by calling Soulja out on what Charlamagne called his famous lies, including Soulja's recent claim about signing a $400 million endorsement deal.
Now, let's go through some of your most famous lies, right?
Lies or lies?
Lies.
Okay, lies.
Now, you announced you had a $400 million deal with the World Poker Fund.
That was facts, nigga. What is what?
You said it was an $80 million a year contract for 5 years for in-flight gaming.
Nigga, Google it. I still got the contract right now. What is you talking about?
Well, the company said it turned out that it was just shares that were valued at $2.5 million.
Same thing. Well, millions is millions, bound baby.
No, Soulja. Millions is not millions. You can't say 400 million and the stock is only 2.5. That's a big difference.
Millions is millions, my baby.
So that was a real deal. It just wasn't.
That was real, Charlotte.
It wasn't the initial number you said.
Yeah, but it was real though.
After getting Big Draco to admit that the $400 million deal thing was capped, Charlamagne went back to talking about Soulja's alleged comeback, saying Meek Mill had a better comeback since he beefed with Drake, who Charlamagne said was the biggest artist in the world. That's when Soulja let Charlamagne know that he made Drake what he is.
Yo, Meek Mill ain't beef with Chris Brown and was finna box with Floyd Mayweather.
He beef with Drake, the biggest rapper in the world.
These niggas, yeah, Drake? Drake? Y'all niggas better stop playing with me in here. Y'all talking about the light-skinned nigga from DeGeneres?
From Toronto.
Yo, stop playing with me.
From where?
The grassy.
Stop playing with me like I ain't teach Drake everything he knows.
Hold on, you taught Drake everything he knows.
Y'all ain't hear Drake on his first song? Tell me what's really going on. Drizzy Drake back in this thing already. That's Soulja.
Shit.
That's my bar.
Shit.
He copied my whole fucking flow.
That's Kiss Me Through the Phone.
He copied my whole fucking flow. Word for word, bar for bar. Don't act like I didn't make Drake. Don't do that.
Soulja may have been capping about some stuff, but what he said about Drake was actually facts, because in his 2010 track titled Miss Me, Drake did copy the flow from Soulja's 2007 track, What's Hannanin', even if it said that Soulja originally copied it from another rapper named Shawty Lo. But Charlamagne's arguments with Big Draco were nothing compared to the time a rapper lost his cool and even threatened Charlamagne whilst on The Breakfast Club. It all went down back in 2014 when two members of the Onyx rap group, Fredro Starr and Sticky Fingers, were on The Breakfast Club. It only took 5 minutes for Charlamagne to piss one of them off because he brought up the fact that Fredro had allegedly hooked up with singer Brandy back in the 90s. Charlamagne obviously thought it was going to be funny, but Fredro wasn't having it.
And you guys got your acting money and everything up. During that time, that was like the first kind of rapper / actors.
Fredro was getting head from Brandy.
Bro, yeah, getting head from Brandy.
Stop with all that, but you need to stop with all that, though. See, this dude right here, man. Like, let that be what it's gonna be, son. Like, you bringing up the past, B. Like, let's move to the future, though. But what did you say? Should I say a lot of shit you said, nigga?
Yeah,
I ain't got time for that, though, B.
It seemed like the interview was back on track, but Fredro clearly hadn't let the incident go because 2 minutes later, he shot back at Charlamagne, talking about the time Charlamagne got jumped and calling him a coward for it.
When you Charlamagne, what happened when you got punched in the eye, B?
The guy got killed later on, but it wasn't because of me,
I
though.
just wanted to know.
Yeah.
that shit was mad funny.
Calm was crazy.
Sticky Fingers, the devil. Was running like this.
I had to get out of there.
I would have stopped the fight. I would have stopped the fight, especially if I was at my radio station.
You done went
straight up. This your radio station.
Cause you know why?
This your block.
You know why? Because I know it was an ambush.
Ran off your own
I don't
block.
know what them guys had planned. So I had to get out the way.
You got ran off your own block, man. It's all good, though.
It happens. It happens to the best
of them. Niggas get pussy sometimes.
Man. Things escalated from there, with Fredro letting Charlamagne know that he didn't, in fact, like that he brought up the Brandy thing. He also felt the need to remind Charlamagne that he's a real gangster and can't be touched.
Why we got an issue, bro?
Because you brought some shit up that I ain't like, and I don't like that, nigga. I ain't no bitch ass nigga.
I ain't say you was, but you
don't
said
play me like that, nigga. Breakfast Club, nigga. All right, let's get on with the interview.
I don't know what you want me to do.
You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. That's what I'm saying, nigga. You can't do nothing, big man. You can't do nothing, nigga. I know it's so fucking good.
I ain't here for that.
Playing the garbage, nigga. Don't play me, nigga. My name is Fredro Starr. Do your Google, nigga. What the fuck you gonna do?
But apart from pissing off legendary rappers and talking smack about female rappers, it seems Charlamagne also likes to pick on up-and-coming rappers, just like in this next situation. Because about a year after Lil Yachty started blowing up, he was on The Breakfast Club to discuss his music and the come-up. But the interview would turn sour for Yachty when Charlamagne would call him the face of whack rappers.
So I remember he posted a video on the internet talking about new rappers. I just felt like he was targeted straight at me.
Like I told you earlier, you are the poster child for whack rappers. If they want to say somebody's whack, they say you.
You're not the poster child for whack rappers.
It happens. No. It happens every few years. It was Trinidad James at one point.
Whoa, that's what I'm in?
Yes, perception-wise.
Lil Yachty played it cool, but he actually felt some type of way about Charlamagne's comment. To make things worse, several months later, Charlamagne hosted a podcast with Joe Budden on Revolt TV, where they made a list of 2017's top trash rappers. Joe Budden put Lil Yachty at #1, and while Charlamagne initially disagreed, he soon admitted that Yachty was indeed trash musically.
Top 5 trash artists.
#1
of 2017.
Yachty's #1.
Nah, man. You talking about from a musical perspective?
Yes, only music.
All right, okay.
No, he had a great year in business.
To be fair, Charlamagne did also say Yachty wasn't making music for older people like him or Joe Budden. Months later though, Lil Yachty was on The Breakfast Club once more, and Charlamagne, even after dragging Yachty's name through the mud yet again, claimed he'd always shown Yachty love.
We've always showed you love here, though.
Not at first.
He said,
Why y'all say that? When did we not show Yachty love? I never came at Yachty. When?
You and Joe Budden, I saw that video. You know,
Told Joe you cannot hate on Lil Yachty.
You said he was the face of something.
No.
Oh, you did last time.
Lil Yachty also reminded Charlamagne about the time he called him a whack rapper, but Charlamagne claimed his comment was simply taken out of context.
Why do y'all always take that out of context?
That blew me, bro. You know that blew me? You know people bring that up all the time, bro.
You knew what I was saying, though.
Charlamagne said.
And that was wrong. I was saying that that's how people perceive you. I didn't say I felt like that.
Lil Yachty, though, is a pretty chill dude, so it's no surprise he handled things the way he did. Damon Dash, on the other hand, went off on both Charlamagne and DJ Envy on his own Breakfast Club appearance, because record executive Damon Dash was on The Breakfast Club in 2015, and you could say the interview started on a bad note with Dame refusing to answer a question about how he and Jay-Z met, since DJ Envy had asked him that already in a different interview.
How did you meet up with Jay-Z, who was from Brooklyn? Because like you guys, Harlem guys are tight.
You really still curious about the Jay-Z?
Absolutely.
You don't know the
People are always
story?
curious.
Have you never asked this question from me before about Jay-Z?
I have, but I was on a smaller scale.
If somebody asks you the same questions 25 times, maybe 2,500 times, do you still want to talk about the same thing? Yes or no?
No.
So that's just me being human.
No, I understand.
So
that.
I don't care what platform we on.
No,
I'm sick of talking about it. Let's talk about something else.
It's a different platform.
I know, but I want to talk about something else.
15 minutes into the interview, Dame also went off on Charlamagne, because while Dame was talking about being his own boss and building his empire with his own money, Charlamagne reminded Dame that he once took a payout from Def Jam Records, and it pissed Dame off.
I'm not going to build somebody else's company and then pick shares so my son can... All that.
But I'm not.
No, listen. What I'm saying.
But what about taking the money?
You come to work every day.
You took the money from Def Jam.
I didn't take. Stop. Don't say. You're speaking my business and you don't know what you're talking about. I ain't take no money from Def Jam. What you talking about?
What I mean take? I mean they cut you a check.
No, they didn't cut me a check. We had a formula based on performance, and they calculated, and we got paid.
After arguing with his hosts, it looked like Dame now had it out for both Charlamagne and DJ Envy, because later in the interview, Dame trolled them both for doing what he called selling gossip as a means of livelihood.
Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the fact that you sell gossip for a living? Like you sell gossip, you're a man. How do men sell gossip? That's for women.
Y'all talk
about what other people say. Every day y'all talking about what you heard. That's gossip.
If that's all you listen to
that's women
show,
do that, man. That's what women do. I don't listen to your show. I don't want to hear about gossip. I be asleep. I'm a boss. I wake up when I want. I don't be up that early.
But Dame Dash's crash out still doesn't compare to the time NBA YoungBoy threatened Charlamagne with a strap. Their beef started on a Breakfast Club segment where Charlamagne called NBA YoungBoy Donkey of the Day, a term Charlamagne uses to call out people who did foolish or controversial things. And the reason Charlamagne thought YB deserved the title was because YoungBoy did an interview with Bootleg Kev where he said he wasn't big on fatherhood, despite having 11 kids.
Donkey of the Day for Wednesday, January 10th goes to the young man known as NBA YoungBoy. Now, NBA YoungBoy recently sat down and had a conversation with the good brother Bootleg Kev. He has 11 kids, but in his words, he's not really big on fatherhood. NBA YoungBoy treating fatherhood the way the NBA's Nikola Jokic treats the NBA. You ever hear Joker talk about basketball the same level of don't give a F that NBA Jokic has about basketball? NBA YoungBoy seems to have about being a father to his 11 kids.
The fact that Charlamagne was playing with his name pissed YoungBoy off, so he dropped a Charlamagne diss record just 2 days later, titled Act a Donkey, where he dared Charlamagne to come pull up to Gravedigger Mountain, where YoungBoy lives, and threatened to hit Charlamagne with a strap. He also shot back at Charlamagne in a video, where YB called him the Donkey of the Day.
Today's Donkey of the Day is Charlamagne for riding dick too much.
And Charlamagne responded, declining YoungBoy's invitation to Gravedigger Mountain, as you'd expect.
He invited you to Gravedigger Mountain. He said to pull up on him so he could talk face to face. But then he said he'd bat your ish in and then hit you with the Drake. So
let me tell you something.
I wouldn't go if he's, if he invited you that way.
I mean, no. Duh. That's the beauty of being 45 years old and being born in 1978. Number one, I ain't going to no place called Gravedigger Mountain. The hell I'm doing on Gravedigger Mountain if it ain't Halloween?
Now, Charlamagne is known not to be the biggest fan of new generation rappers like YoungBoy, and it seems like he might not have been the biggest King Von fan either, because in this next interview, a lot of people thought Charlamagne was trying to get Von to snitch on himself, and might have succeeded if it weren't for Lil Durk. After his release from jail in 2017, King Von signed with Lil Durk's OTF record label, and a year later, the two were on The Breakfast Club to discuss working together in their relationship as friends.
What made you want to sign King Von?
Cause he got a whole story behind him. Know what I'm saying? He from O Block.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying? That should speak for itself. Nah. But know what I'm saying? He just real. Know what I'm saying? His music. He just a real just I fuck with him. Know what I'm saying? It's my brother.
So you was in jail for 2 murders?
Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts. I just beat.
How you beat that?
You gonna beat it if you didn't do it. That's all.
Throughout the interview, Lil Durk seemed to be trying to protect King Von every time Charlamagne threw a potentially incriminating question at him. And at one point, he had to let out what seemed like an intentional cough to get Von to stop talking so he wouldn't self-incriminate himself, since Von already had major run-ins with the law.
See, that's why we need more black-owned businesses right there.
Why is that?
Because he can hire people like King Von.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Von wouldn't be able to get a job nowhere else probably.
Over it.
Shit, when you get to that line, have you ever been convicted of?
He could then start making.
Have you ever been
No experiences doing nothing. I ain't, you know.
All right.
Word. While people barely noticed what went down there, Charlamagne faced so much criticism for this next interview that the video had to be taken down by the Breakfast Club YouTube channel. When Post Malone was still up and coming back in 2015, he came on the Breakfast Club for an interview, but Charlamagne started picking on Posty right off the bat, trolling him about his dad's job with the Dallas Cowboys and about being a white boy in hip-hop.
So his dad actually used to work for the organization.
What was he, water boy?
He does. He still works for the organization. He's like head of concessions.
So are you afraid as a white rapper that you may be considered a culture vulture?
I don't think so. I'm not scared. I'm not scared because I'm not trying to be anybody that I'm not.
True indeed.
I'm just trying to, I like what I like. And I don't think I'm biting off of a certain culture or copying a certain culture or trying to be part of a certain culture because, I like what I like.
It looked like Charlamagne just didn't like Post Malone and was picking on him simply for being a white rapper. It didn't end there either, because Charlamagne next tried to put Posty on the spot by asking him what he was doing to support the Black Lives Matter movement.
What are you doing for the Black Lives Matter movement?
What?
I don't know.
Is that a serious question?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I guess what I can do to help Black Lives Matter is I to just keep making music. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Got you.
I don't know.
I would have just said nothing.
I mean, honestly.
How did you get signed, man?
DJ Envy obviously didn't like that Charlamagne had to do Posty like that, and he wasn't the only one, because Charlamagne's actions caused so much outrage that the original interview had to be taken off the official Breakfast Club channel. Posty also went on to speak on it in a Rolling Stone interview years later, saying Charlamagne isn't a good person, and Charlamagne took offense to that, calling Posty out for being the donkey of the day.
Donkey of the day for Monday, November 27th goes to Post Malone. In Rolling Stone, he says he wished he would have said, "What are you doing for Black Lives Matter?" Some sassy stuff to shut him up. Like, maybe my music's not the best, but I know I'm not a bad person, so you're just being a hater. Charlamagne is not a good person. He hates me because I'm white and I'm different, but we're still rocking and we're still successful and he can't stop it. And Charlamagne replied, "I don't dislike Post Malone because he's white. I dislike Post Malone because he's whack." End quote.
These were times rappers checked Charlamagne Tha God for being disrespectful. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and check out 14 times where rappers humbled disrespectful fans who crossed the line.